Kia ora everyone, welcome along to the Benchwarmers from the Export Beer Garden Studios from the ACC. A couple of Kiwi basketball fans talking hoops for another week. Joel Harrison, we're back. After both of us being benched last week, we're back.
Couldn't even make it to the Benchwarmers last week, but it's good to be here. And how good is the NBA at the moment?
Oh, it's very good. I had a crack this week at ChatGPT. Got AI to write the intro. I thought I'd give it a crack, and I said, can you write me an introduction for a basketball podcast that has one joke in it and talks about the NBA Finals between the Nuggets and the Heat? So here we go. Here's ChatGPT's intro.
Fire away.
Welcome to the podcast where we bring you all the sizzling NBA action and break down the Finals frenzy. I'm your host, Ben Boyce, and we're about to take you on a slam dunk ride. Then it says laughter in brackets. Didn't happen from you. Before we hit the court, let me dish out a quick joke. Why don't basketballers go on holiday?
Why's that?
It says pause. Because they get called out for travelling. Again, laughter in brackets. Now that we've got you rolling with laughter as the next line, I'm like, oh, don't ever say now we go. That's very confident. Let's deep dive into the NBA Finals showdown. It's the Denver Nuggets versus the Miami Heat. Two hungry teams vying for the championship ring. So grab your snacks, buckle up and join us as we dissect the heart-pounding moments, jaw-dropping plays and all the drama that unfolds on the biggest stage.
That's actually really good.
So it was quite good. Yeah, the joke and pausing for laughter, I was like, yeah, but anyway, I wrote that out in like 8 seconds, so it's pretty good.
Why? We're not even going to have a job. We're not going to have a job in like 2 years' time, but well.
Radio Awards, of course, with us this week as well. It was good to see Storm previously from the Benchwarmers podcast at the Radio Awards. Notice the Benchwarmers not nominated for any Radio Awards podcasts.
Yeah, I think we're more looking like 2022. Just did a few episodes. We're more building towards the 2024 edition of the Radio Awards. I imagine we'll be there for best sports presenters, best podcast. What else is there?
There was a seasonable podcast or seasonal podcast. I don't even know what that means. But
best moment. You name it, we were there. I'm sure next year.
Let's have a crack at the starting five.
This is the starting five for the Benchwarmers.
Y'all ready for this? Now, before the series, the final series started, we wondered, the Nuggets, they'd never been to the finals before. Would that count for anything? Before the series started, there were 15 finals appearances in the Miami Heat players and only 2 from the Nuggets. But after game one, I was like, man, that counts for nothing. The Nuggets were amazing in game one.
They were awesome. As a Miami Heat fan, it was almost hard to watch. Like, it felt like going down 20 points in the first half, the game was over. Like, it's so hard to come back from a 20-point deficit, especially when you're playing away at Denver as well.
You're a Heat fan, are you?
Big Heat fan.
Oh, yeah. You've never mentioned that before. No, you have. You have. In your fairness, you have been backing the Heat all the way through this topsy-turvy season from the Heat.
Yeah, and I actually went and listened back to, just doing a bit of air checking for myself, just went and listened to the first ever podcast we did here, and we put the predictions out, and I did say, I reckon the Miami Heat are going to go all the way, and I had no confidence in saying that, but now 1-1 in the final series.
Yeah.
It can happen. It's a massive reality. 2
very different games when we look at the 2 games that are played so far in the final series. As I said before, game one, the Nuggets really dominated. They looked like they kind of did it easy. Joker, Murray got over 50 points. Aaron Gordon was pretty good. They kind of felt like the Heat had no real answers, and suddenly all through that Boston series, their shooting from the outside was amazing. And then all of a sudden, Boston will be like, hey, where were those guys missing? No one was missing in the Boston series, but their 3-point shot kind of failed them in game one.
Yeah, they were incredible. I feel like we should almost go back to game 7 after it was 3-3 in the Eastern Conference Finals. Look, you and I, we were both like the Heat, they almost have no chance. Going to Boston after losing 3 in a row. But they did it, and they won by like 25 points. It was incredible. Caleb Martin, 28 points. A lot of people saying he was robbed of Eastern Conference Finals MVP.
He'd have to be up there, wouldn't he? Like, for it, it would have been a big choice between him and Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, exactly. And then they come into game 1, and him and Max Strus don't hit any field goals, I think it was. And all my mates who are Celtics fans are just like, are you serious? How can this be? These guys these randoms who completely knocked us out. But
the Heat went cold, like when you haven't paid your power bill and everything goes cold as well. It was a big serving of nuggets in game 1. As I said, Boston would have been like, what the heck was going on? Because they were the team that you just mentioned that put Boston away. Yeah. The shooting was incredible. Caleb Martin, I think, only got 3 points. Max Strus couldn't even hit anything.
Yeah.
After game 1, Jimmy Butler's like, it's all good. It's all good. He was, he went and did an escape room. apparently, that night. And some of the other dudes, he was like, went and saw that new Spider-Man animated movie. I'll tell you a great hack for an escape room. I did this once. I went once for a work thing, and then I took my family back to the same escape room. I looked like a genius because I didn't tell them I'd done the one before. So that's a great hack. You're like, well, I don't know, maybe it's inside the box. And everyone goes, oh my God, how'd you know that? You're like, I'm just smart. So that's a great hack.
That's a good one.
But Jimmy Butler, like, interesting thing to do, I thought, after losing a game, go to the escape room.
I just keep seeing all these clips and stuff pop up, like, especially now, everyone's talking about Jimmy Butler. He actually seems just like kind of a weird, normal guy. It's crazy, and he's such a dog in the court, like DAWG. He's a dog. He's cold. He's like, I don't care what people think, and he goes out there and plays or does escape rooms and stuff.
Yeah, and they escaped from game 2. Maybe it was the escape room because again, you know, after going into the second game, you're like the Nuggets. Maybe there was talk that maybe it could be a sweep. Well, Miami, they just find a way to just keep fighting, don't they? And they were up, and then they were down by 15, and then they came back again and took out the game. It was close, but they got the win.
Yeah, Max Strus 4 from 4 from the 3-point line of the first quarter, which really helped everyone out. And then just like Duncan Robinson didn't do anything all game, comes out and scores the first 10 points of that fourth quarter, which really changed the momentum of the game. Yeah. And he was hitting threes, going in for layups. So it was awesome to see. But it does just feel like these Heat, I don't know, there's no egos in the team. Like I saw an interview, Gabe Vincent saying, he's like, we don't care if we have zero respect. We don't care if no one thinks we're going to win. We're just going to keep playing basketball. And it seems to be working. Yeah,
it was pretty incredible. As you say, Robinson, Strus, Vincent all went big. Their shots were dropping for Miami. Joker, 40 points, huge game for him.
Yeah.
But he normally gets so many assists, and they were talking about how he didn't really, I think he had like 3 assists in the game or something. Very little for a guy who normally delivers big on all fronts. Feels like sometimes he doesn't. He's such a good player, but he doesn't always want to score. He just kind of likes being that facilitator.
Yeah, when I was watching it as well yesterday, I was driving back from Wellington from the famous family reunion. But I was trying to, I was like trying to watch it and stuff. But it seems like every time he touches the ball, something happens, which is, I don't know how Miami are going to stop it with the last however many games. But yeah, he's just such a beast. He gets into the paint, just puts it up and it goes in. It's amazing how well he's played for this postseason especially.
Murray had a chance to sort of, to make it, to send it away. Was it a chance to win right at the end?
I think it was a chance to tie it up and send it to overtime, yeah.
But the shot didn't quite drop. So we're back to Miami where they don't have income tax, and we're back for game 3. And Miami, well, at home, it's hard to tell with most Miami Heat team. I mean, obviously playing at home is an advantage. You're not playing in the altitude of Denver, but it feels like with Miami, they can win away from home.
Yeah, because they won like the first 2 away from home against the Celtics, and then they won 1 at home, and they ended up losing 2 at home, and then they won the decider away. So I don't know what's going to happen, but like you see how electric the Miami crowd gets as well when the other team's shooting free throws and stuff. So I'm sure it's going to be an advantage. And hopefully, if they go up 3-1, it's going to be interesting.
Oh, yeah. I mean, how are you feeling? I mean, the Heat, they are the sort of team that could win it. They could get the chip. They all play like they've got a chip already on their shoulder, don't they? They all play like they've got some point to prove.
Yeah.
I mean, as a Lakers fan, I just go, imagine, if you surrounded LeBron and AD with, Caleb Martin, Vincent, Strus, players that can shoot the ball so well. It's just such a great team to have, to have all those players being able to shoot the ball from deep.
It is. It's amazing, and it's amazing what a coach. Obviously, Eric Spoelstra, what he's done. He must do something right. He's kind of like, if you translate it to rugby league. I like translating this stuff to rugby league. Gives you more of an idea, or even rugby. He seems like he's like a Scott Robinson or like a Wayne Bennett type figure. People respect him. His players play well, and he's like one of the only coaches who hasn't been fired for a long time in the NBA.
Caleb Martin, waived by the Hornets in 2021. Max Strus, he reminded everyone he was waived by the Celtics in 2019. Kevin Love, waived by the Cavs. That's why I said they kind of play like they've got a chip on their shoulder, and who knows? I mean, I still feel like the Nuggets are the favourites. And if everything goes well for them, they probably will win. But you can't count out Miami.
You just can't, especially with Jimmy Butler. Like him and Bam, because they had 2 MVP they're all-stars as well, sorry, not MVPs. Maybe finals MVP, but they're two all-star players. And with the people shooting well around them, it's going to be good to watch.
Jimmy Butler's confidence. I mean, he hasn't been, as huge as he was earlier on in the playoffs, maybe in this finals. Maybe he's got a ankle injury. They never really reveal how bad those injuries are until later. But I love this confidence. Apparently, he DM'd a famous tennis player, Coco Gauff, before. This was before the play-in. And Jimmy Butler said, "Do you want tickets to the NBA Finals?" That's the confidence of.
Does he have a partner?
I don't know. Maybe they were bad. I don't know if it was anything like that. But she was like going, "Hey, yeah, that's cool. That just shows Jimmy Butler's confidence."
Wow.
Go, hey, we're going to be in the NBA Finals. We're not even in the play-in. Would you like some tickets for the NBA Finals? Which I thought was pretty incredible. So what do you reckon? Put your big basketballs on the line. What are you thinking? Are you still back in the Heat?
Mate, I'm going Heat all the way. I see you wearing your Heat t-shirt, tags on still. I
got called out for that the other day. I was over this one for a while. But I do love watching the Heat, and I hope they can do it.
NBA Finals very rarely go to Game 7, I feel like, as well. That's maybe they do. But I feel like, for the most part, they kind of finish at 6, and I reckon the Heat are going to do it at home in Game 6.
You talked about Spo being an amazing, amazing coach, and he showed the team. I wanted to talk about this. This is from last week on Game 7 after they defeated the Celtics in Game 7. Bam and the dirt is gone. He was out there, and Bam Adebayo was talking about how Eric Spoelstra showed them an inspirational video. And as he was talking about the video, Ernie really wanted to know, Ernie, who's the TV presenter, was wanting to know what the video was. You could see Spo's face going, please don't talk about the video. But this was the audio.
Spo got us in and made us watch an inspirational video for 15 minutes, and I guess it fooled us.
What was the inspirational video?
Man, just stand together. The ship get rocky, just stay together and keep believing in one another.
Spo, you're right here. You have to answer that question. What's the inspirational video you showed your team?
No, it wasn't about the video. It's just about an incredible group of men right here. We are the men in the arena.
Please stop talking about the video. What do you think the video was?
I was going to ask you. I don't know. Was it like I don't know.
There's lots of talk about, was it something with cups and girls and all sorts? And I was like, surely not. What
Stay out of it, Eric Spoelstra.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what is that inspirational? He looked like he was like, please don't, don't bring that up.
Yeah.
So, but whatever it was, he found the reason to motivate the team, right?
Do you have like a piece of? I know on the radio show that you guys do, John and Ben, you have a segment, Motivational Monday, and you play motivational clips. Is there like a song or a piece of video that you watch that gets you hyped, gets you motivated?
Well, off the top of my head, I know that one we played the other week, which I thought was pretty cool, was Ed Sheeran talking on Howard Stern's show in America. And he was basically saying at 14 years old, he was like, find this audio, it's on YouTube. It was him singing at 14 years old. And he's like, I was awful. He's singing him and his voice was cracking and it wasn't that great. And then he's like, 4 years later from that moment, I wrote the A-Team, which was a huge international smash hit. And he taught himself harmonies. He taught himself all these other things. He taught himself how to sing on stage.
Yeah.
And he became an amazing star. So that was pretty inspirational, I thought.
Yeah, I feel like there's hope for us. You hear Ed Sheeran singing when he was 14, and it's like, jeepers.
And then, of course, he got married to the lady from Suits. He left the Royal... Is that the same guy? Sorry, well done. It's a classic ginger joke there. I'm sorry. Apologies. I'm better than this. Really, I am. This is why I'll never advance like Ed Sheeran. I'll never have any motivation. Oh, one thing I do want to bring up I thought was pretty cool. Joker, how we talked about him wearing his wedding ring on his shoe, and Mania Stewart, who joined us on the podcast, was like, what's he done? That his wife's like, you've got to have your wedding ring with him all times. But he's got a little signal for his daughter. I noticed at the end of the game, he sort of puts his index finger into his palm, looks at her, and sort of does almost like the Wiggles finger point, the finger guns sort of thing as well.
So he's just Mania was slandering the good name
he's a father of
the MVP, and he's just a family man.
He's a family man. He's a father. Do you know why the Wiggles actually do that finger point stuff in photos?
Why is that?
It's a true story. So their hands are actually, so you can see their hands in photos.
Yeah.
Not because anyone would ever, accuse the Wiggles of anything dodgy, but apparently that's why. Just because lots of photos with, kids and people like that.
Oh, that's
you just always got your hands. You don't, because that awkward time of like, do I put my arms around someone? Do I not?
Maybe you can start running that every time people cover photos.
Start doing
Let's go try to get in the Wiggles or something.
Trying to do the finger point. Now you always say I need to come up with a song that sort of sums up where things are at the moment. I really struggled this week, so I thought I'd go to my mum's back catalogue, Jenny Boyce, Gloria Estefan, and the Miami Sound Machine. The only reason I put this in there was because Miami, but it is a hell of a jam. Conga.
Shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer. Come on, shake your body, baby, do that conga. No,
yeah, so that one's from Miami as we head back to Miami. No income tax, as I said before, in Miami, which is what a place to live. Wouldn't it be nice to have no income tax?
So what? They just get their full salary
I think so. They've got tax there. They've got tax, but apparently no income tax.
How does the roads and stuff get built? What is the
I
rate
don't know.
pay?
Well, maybe tax on products and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
they do have a lot of that in America as well, to be honest.
But when you get your income there, apparently there's no income tax. NBA salaries, I thought this was quite interesting though this week. They're huge, and even the Nuggets mascot gets paid $625K a year. Rocky, the 600, the mascot.
Also $625 US. So it's like 1.1 million. It's like him and Mike Hosking are on the same cut.
Yeah. Rocky, the mascot, apparently he sinks half-court shots from like high up on a ladder. He rollerblades up ramps as well, but that's pretty incredible. I mean, I did some mascot work back in the day, not for that amount of money, back on Pop Sport with the TV show we used to do, and I got a golf club broken over my back, I've told you about before, because I was dressed as the Grinch that day, and we were stealing. The whole concept was the Grinch who stole sport. We meant to, to go out and grab someone's sports gear. We're always going to bring it back, but people don't know that. And as I ran away with someone's trundler, I just heard someone on the golf course go, "Oh, you're dead, bro!" And the guy chased me down and broke a graphite golf club over my back. But fair enough. I was like, it was my own fault, and I just yelled, "It's for TV! It's for TV!"
If you were doing a side hustle job as the let's just say you were the One New Zealand Warriors mascot or the Breakers mascot, would you, to getting paid over $1 million a year, would you take a golf club to the back every day?
Yeah. For over $1 million, you definitely would, right? You definitely would. I get my legal bills, my insurance bills paid up, and I'd definitely take a golf club. Some other quick news before we head to the stat bunker. A lot of coaching news that's kind of gone under the radar, and some with the finals being on. But the Suns have got Frank Vogel, former Lakers, and have coached many other teams as well. Nick Nurse has gone to the 76ers. Monty Williams, a huge deal to the Pistons. Yeah, $78 million over 6 years.
Hopefully that's good, because it feels like the Pistons really need a bit of luck. When they shafted in the lottery as well.
Yeah, they got pretty close there, but they didn't quite get the Wembanyama lottery, right?
Yeah. So hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully a good coach going there can do a lot. But like, how much? Well, the money over there is crazy.
Even the mascots are getting paid over $600K. LeBron to the Mavs is getting a little bit of talk today. That they said Kyrie's reached out and said, "Come make a super team." There was talk that maybe LeBron. You've got Luka. You've got Kyrie. They even said, would Draymond Green come as well? I mean, that would be a pretty amazing lineup. I don't know how they've managed to get all those together. I mean, what's LeBron going to get traded to the Mavs for?
A mascot or something? I don't know.
yeah, true.
I feel like he has his feet pretty set in LA. But hey,
I feel like Kyrie to the Lakers would be more likely.
Yeah, probably easier.
Yeah, which obviously those two want to play together, but it feels like I get really confused with the NBA salary, with the bird rights and all that talk. They talk about this and the sign-in trades and all that stuff. I'm like, I know you're a cap guy, so you're always across that.
Oh, look, I'm always across that. But no, actually, I'm very confused when it comes to everything to do with the NBA salaries as well. I feel like I need to get my head around it a little bit more. Maybe if we come into next year with the NBA as well. But yeah.
So you reckon no smoke, to the rumor that maybe that LeBron could go to the Mavs?
I just feel like he won't.
Is that strong arming? Maybe it's strong arming the Lakers into doing something.
Yeah, well, because will that mean that Luka will be there still as well?
Yeah, which seems like
I don't know. Surely they don't have. I don't know how the cap works, but surely they don't have that much money.
All right, let's head to the stat bunker. Now, Jamal Murray, I thought this was pretty incredible. Here's another little inspirational nugget for you from a guy from the Nuggets. Jamal Murray missed his first 17 shots in the NBA. It took 5 games until he made his first shot, and now he's one of the top players and could be potentially leading his team to a finals win. That's pretty incredible, eh?
How demoralizing would that be? That would just be horrible.
After game, just going, oh, God. And you'd start doubting yourself whether you're good enough to be in the league. I thought it was pretty incredible.
That's a great stat. Good stat. Thanks for that, Ben.
Udonis from the Heat, of course, he's still there. He's made finals appearances in 3 different decades.
Yeah.
The 2000s, the 2010s, and the 2020s, which is incredible. They kind of keep him around the Heat. I mean, he plays a little bit, but not as much as he used to. He was obviously a great player.
Yeah.
But they kind of keep him around for that Heat culture, right?
Yeah, I think he's this is his last series ever as well. He's hanging up the boots, hanging up the singlets as well. But like he was there 2006 when it was D Wade and Shaq, I think. And then he was there for the whole Chris Bosh, D Wade, LeBron era. And now he's here with Jimmy Butler and stuff. Like it is pretty cool. And for his last game of the season, they kind of wheeled him out. Put him out there, gave him 40 minutes.
He played it right, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he got like 25 points, which is the most he'd scored in like 15 years, which is pretty cool.
Now, here's some stats for you as a Heat fan that you might enjoy. It's been over 1,000 days since the Heat beat the Nuggets up until yesterday. It was over 1,000 days. They did what no other team has done. The whole playoffs, they won in Denver. And one little thing for you, all 3 times that the Heats won the chip, they never won game 1.
Oh, it's looking good.
So
it's looking.
Hey.
I don't want to get too excited yet, but I am. I'm excited. And I also saw you talk about that day, 2016, when the Heat went over to Denver and won. The lineup they had, it was crazy. Goran Dragic, Rodney Magruder, Luke Babbitt, Josh McRoberts, and Hassan Whiteside. I'd say most people, including low-key myself, have hardly even heard of anyone besides Hassan Whiteside and Goran Dragic.
Yeah.
Like Luke Babbitt.
And that's the last time they won.
Over in Denver. So it just shows how big of an accomplishment that was.
Let's head to Alley Oops.
It's the big alley. Ooh, it's not the one, It's not the one.
Now we've got a very special Jimmy Butler themed alley oops this week. I saw this week he's actually looking at launching a Hemi Buckets trademark to launch a beverage and clothing line called Hemi Buckets. Would you have a product? What would your product be if you could launch anything? Would you like to have anything? Would you like to be the face of anything?
A pair of pants, maybe the Pants Man.
Oh, the Pants Man, the
face
Pants
on
Man.
each cheek or something.
That's
I don't know. not sure if anyone would buy it, but
your face on the back of the chair. I like that.
Yourself?
Oh, look, I've always wanted the, I love a pun. I've always wanted the Ben Boysenberry's boysenberry range of,
Boysenberry Ripples ice cream. How many times has every time Tip Top puts a brief and you're like,
I'm like,
how about the Ben Boysenberry?
The Ben Boysenberries, but not once has that happened. But we're doing a special Jimmy Butler themed alley oops today. And I like the times. Now, for a guy who he's fearless on the court. Off the court, he's had some moments where he's quite comical and he doesn't come across quite as fearless. Like when he was doing a press conference during the week and he thought he saw a bee in the studio next to the microphones.
Before game 1. Oh my God, y'all saw that? Goddamn bumblebee.
It's funny. No one's safe around Bumblebee.
I know. Even like a player who won't back down on the NBA court. Then you showed me this footage during the week of Jimmy Butler. It was from a show a few years back. He was sort of kayaking on a canoe, and in very shallow water he fell in, and the scream is Jimmy Butler.
It was also like shin height.
It wasn't that deep at all, was it? He did not want to fall in the water, and then finally got taken on a hot lap, which is a very frightening experience. And it was an F1 car, and Jimmy Butler was not handling it well. Probably like how I would handle it.
Oh. Hey, whoa, relax. You're going too fast. Oh! No. My head. Oh, my stomach finna fall out my ass.
My stomach finna fall out my ass. That's a great
It's very
line.
funny. That's why everyone loves Jimmy Butler. And who knows? This time next week we could be talking. Well, we'll have pretty good indication. I know the games are a bit more spread out through the final series.
Yeah, which is good because it's kind of like It's been such a good year for NBA. It's such a good thing to do during the week. Just watch a few games, chuck it on the weekend if you can. But there's going to be no NBA for a few months now, which is kind of disappointing.
Enjoy it while it's there. It's a great final series. But before we go, we've got to do our big TAB bet. Now, currently at the moment, we've still got our bet live for Jimmy Butler to get Finals MVP.
Yeah. That's look, it's not out. We were last week. I was kind of after the Heat had lost 3 in a row. I was like, can we delete this video off Facebook? I look like a bit of an idiot saying that Jimmy Butler's going to be the Finals MVP, and we hadn't even qualified for the Finals. But yeah, that could stick, and that would return $375, which is pretty awesome.
Can I go big this week? I was having a quick
That's
look
what we had to do,
TV.
Ben.
I'm going to go big or go home. I'm going to actually go home and go big. I'm going to do both those options. I'm going to say Game 3, it's going to overtime.
Yeah. Wow.
Game 3, overtime.
Wow.
$14 is what it's paying. $1,400 is what we get as we put $100. Game 3 is going to overtime.
That's 14. That's not bad.
That's what I just thought. Oh well, we'll give it a go. It's like it almost happened. Like we talked earlier, that final shot before.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Let's just do it. Why not?
Stranger things have happened.
Yeah.
It feels like a lot of games are going to overtime these days as well. So that's a great bet and a great return.
Get amongst it. It'll be a huge amount for our kitty here at the ACC that will be given away. I think a lot of it gets given away, right?
Hopefully we could do something for the Benchwarmers in-season Christmas party as well. But I feel like it'll probably go away to you as well on Facebook.
That is our podcast for another week. The award entering podcast. Not even award entering. We've never entered it in anything. It was a lot of fun talking hoops with you again, Joel Harrison. Thanks very much for your time.
Before we go, one last thing.
Yeah?
Nuggets or Heat, give me a number. When are they going to win it?
Oh, geez, I'd love to back you. On. I'm going to go against you. I'm going to go with my head, not my heart. I'm going to say Nuggets 4-2. But I hope I'm wrong.
I got Heat in 6, and we'll find out this time next week how it's looking.
I hope I'm wrong.